Hi, I'm Alan Olson with GROCO American Entrepreneur, where we discuss business models and the successes that individuals have found as they've gone off on their own quest to start their own companies. I'm here today with Darin Young. Darin's the founder and the CEO of Dryco, a paving contractor here in the Bay Area. Darin, what drove you to do your own business and start this?
Well, Alan, it started out as a family business. I went to work for my father pretty much out of high school, and I got kind of driven into the business through a series of health issues with my dad, and I got to tell you that it wasn't my plan from childhood to take over the business that my father did, but it just became the best thing for the family for me to get involved and at some point take it over and then start my own business.
So you suddenly find yourself inside the family business, and it was transitioned from your dad to yourself. And what are some of the challenges that you found as you were going through this process?
Well, I think the number one challenge was needing to get my contractor's license and get myself established as a business. It came a point when he said to me, you know, you're going to need to start your own business and I can work for you when health allows. So, you know, getting my own contractor's license, going to school at night while also working the jobs during the day. A lot of times he wasn't there to answer questions, you know, due to health reasons, and so I had to find people that knew how to help me, and there was never a, you know, end of resources for me. I find people are always willing to help people that work hard. You know, as long as you're working hard. I can remember fixing a dump truck where my next door neighbor was a professional mechanic, and I sure wasn't. But the starter went out on the dump truck again, and I was underneath there working on it, and I must have been, you know, cursing and slamming things around. And I remember he came out and looked underneath the dump truck and said, "Darin, what are you doing?" And I explained what I was doing, and he explained that the way I was going about it wasn't really the right way to do it. And he got in there and he helped me, and he helped me a lot with a lot of different equipment. And years later, he actually, at that time he worked for General Motors. General Motors closed down, and years later he actually came to work for me and was my lead mechanic. So, you know, finding the resources was always a challenge, but people I found are always willing to help people that are working hard and trying to, you know, giving their best.
So I hear Dryco is big into recycling. Can you tell me about some of the green practices within your business?
Well, we have our own recycle yard. So we have about a 3-acre area that we lease. We don't own it. And we take all of our broken asphalt and concrete. So the thing about construction, you know, pavement maintenance construction, is all the materials that come out generally get reused in the process. So what we do is if we demo concrete or if we demo asphalt, we put it in the truck and we take it to this yard and we pile it up, and we've got a mountain of broken asphalt and concrete. And then we bring a crusher in every year or every 2 years, depending on how much material we come up with, and we crush it into base rock, which is the stone that goes underneath, you know, the asphalt. So by that way, you know, nothing goes into the landfill. We also have dumpsters there where we have a fence division. So anytime we take out an old bent up fence, we have bins that are metal bins, and so all that material goes there and gets recycled, scrapped, if you will. Then we have the wood dumpster, where, you know, any of the header boards or you know, any wood material would go in there. That gets chipped up and turned into mulch. And then we do have a garbage dumpster as well. But it's amazing how little stuff actually goes into the landfills, because most of the materials that we're using are reusable materials, and it's so expensive to dump. You know, if we wanted to, it's cheaper for us to have a yard, crush the material, turn it into base rock, and then reuse it on the jobs than it is to try to find a landfill to put it into, because it costs so much money to dump.
So when you look at your successes in the business, where do you find the greatest fulfillment from where you've been able to take the company?
Well, the greatest fulfillment, I can tell you a story when we were, gosh, I guess we were probably a $8 million company, maybe a $5 to $8 million company, and one of my guys drove in a new truck. It was a Ranger. It was a brand new truck. We didn't have a brand new piece of equipment in the company, and this particular guy had been with me for the whole time, and I guess he'd moved to Tracy, somewhere in the valley, and he was commuting, and he bought a brand new truck. And I'm telling you what, I never felt so much pride as when I found out that somebody that worked for me was able to go out and buy a brand new truck. And then a few years later, somebody bought a house. You know, I mean, I was actually becoming established business where people could build their livelihood around it, stable, and you know, it just gives me goosebumps to think about it. I mean, that is where I get my biggest reward, is in seeing what the business can build for 125 people, not just me.
Darin, few people know about all the good that you give into the community. Could you tell us a little about the community projects that you've donated back over the years?
Oh, well, Dryco, you know, with the community, there's always a need for construction. And so most of our property management firms, the large ones we work for, Legacy and Prologist and Equity and these guys, they oftentimes have projects that they do pro bono, you know, and they, of course, go to their vendors and they say, you know, we're gonna build, we're gonna fix up this, you know, homeless shelter, and we need somebody, you know, it's a house, and there's nothing there, and we're gonna, you know, remodel the house, and we're gonna put in a new driveway, and we're gonna do a concrete patio and a place. We've done just any number of those kind of projects for various customers of ours. You know, the Christmas in April that you hear about, we're involved in a lot of those. And then you know, the local schools. I mean, you know, whether we're building fences for you know, the softball field, or you know, doing concrete, there's no end of projects that need to be done, and we get, once the community knows that you're a person that will help, you know, the projects come at you pretty fast, and so there's too many community projects for me to even remember. But every year there's, you know, one or two that we do, and we try to build it into the culture of our company and say, guys, this is who we are, this is what we do, we give back.
Darin, appreciate you being here today on the show and for all your insights and sharing with us of the success you found as you run Dryco. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.